Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. So we are a week or so into our mid-season break with all the DC TV shows or Arrowverse shows. We are exactly a month or so, or maybe a month and 1 day away from Arrow being back on our screens with its mid-season premiere, aka Episode 10, otherwise known as Shattered Lives, I think is the episode title. Which of course will involve a focus on the new addition to the show for this season, that being Amiko Queen. But in this video, we will actually be going over a character from the Arrowverse's past, or is it its future? Anyway, we're going over a character that has showed up in the Arrowverse previously, that's probably the best way to put it, that looks like they will be returning to the show again this season, or the universe again this season. Whether it just be for one episode, or maybe for multiple episodes, and maybe the rest of the season. But of course, let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this. Some of you guys might be like new to the character, but let me know what you think of it in the comment section regardless. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, show support by clicking the like button. So C. Shamuka, who plays Amiko Queen, posted on Instagram a photo just before her and some fellow cast members of Arrow went out for a night on the town. Now in this photo was Colton Haynes, who of course plays Roy Harper, Andrea Sixtos, who plays future Zoe, and an actor we haven't seen for a while, that being Joseph David Jones, who of course played the future version of John Diggle Jr., and technically played the first iteration of the character as he appeared before Flashpoint happened on The Flash. So Sarah Diggle was still a thing at the point on Arrow at the time he showed up on Legends. And of course, as I said, this was in Legends in Season 1 in the Star City 2046 episode. But yeah, he was the future version of John Diggle Jr., who actually changed his name to Connor Hawke following his father's death, and was the Green Arrow of Star City in 2046. So, is he coming back 100% to this universe and to Arrow specifically? Well, you can't say 100% that he is coming back because of the fact that you can only really confirm it 100% if someone on the cast says he's coming back, or if there is a press release about it, or if the actor says, yo, I'm coming back. However, the fact that he was in Vancouver, hanging with the three fellow castmates in the form of C, Colton, and Andrea, and there is future storylines going on this season on Arrow where his character would, perfectly fit into and, would be about. Yeah, it seems that he will indeed be coming back to the Arrowverse this season, this time on Arrow, the show his character should be on. So where will his character fit in? What role will he play? Well, I think it is important to state that the 2046 future that we saw in Legends of Tomorrow back in Season 1 doesn't exist anymore. The showrunners of both Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow have confirmed that. It was just a future that Legends created for that specific episode. So erase that episode from your heads for the most part. Yes or no, there's things that were there that were there in that Legends episode in Season 1 that appear in the future storyline for Arrow, but it's just similarities. There's nothing there to really make it, that's canon. We have to think of that as the future we're going to be witnessing. The Arrow and Legends showrunners have basically told us, forget that future that was on Legends, it's not what we're going for, even though there's similarities. So basically, the main thing to take from that is don't expect the John Diggle Jr. that we're going to be getting on Arrow is going to be the Connor Hawke, aka Green Arrow, in this future storyline that we have this season on Arrow that we had in Legends. Now, this future storyline on Arrow is like in roughly 2040 or something like that, maybe 2038, 2040. I can't remember if they confirmed that or not, but it's somewhere around that. Obviously, John Jr. could be leading up to taking on the Green Arrow mantle in this future, but I wouldn't expect him to be the holder of that mantle at this point in time when we meet him in the future. If you had to make a safe bet, he is probably just a part of the resistance that Zoe mentioned a few episodes back. Maybe his father, John Diggle Sr. is dead in this future as well, like he was in Legends, which maybe pushes John Jr. to join this movement or something. Hopefully that's not the case. Now, how many episodes will he be in? Now, that is probably the hardest question to even give like a relatively correct answer, because who knows? It could be one episode and just a cameo, or it could be until the end of the season with this future storyline and he basically becomes a recurring character this season. John Jr. in this future would be like mid-20s, maybe like 24, 25 to be exact. So he wouldn't be a teenager as like that new Maya character most likely is. He will be somewhat experienced enough to be like a pretty knowledgeable character, so you would expect him, or so you could see him at least being useful to the future team, depending on like what expertise he has, as well as where his like allegiance lies. I can't see the show making him a bad character. I don't think that would bode well with fans. It just seems a bit unnatural for the character, but they could make him like the moral core of the group, similar to what his father was to the present day Team Arrow. Like whenever there was, a situation that really needed like a hard decision, Diggle a lot of the time would give like the moral answer. So maybe John Jr. could fit that role as well. As I alluded to before, is his dad dead? Is John Diggle Sr. dead? And as I said, they could make it that maybe Old Man Diggle is dead, and it could be some form of like motivation for this John Jr. to go about his mission and strive to do his best with like whatever goes down in this future storyline. However, I would like to see the two Diggles on screen together. We know that we are going to be seeing an older version of Renee soon on the show, so Zoe and him will get to interact. So I wouldn't mind seeing the two Diggle men interact and share some scenes together as well. It would be good to see. Now, one other thing that a few of you, or maybe most of you, or maybe all of you may have picked up from that original photo I showed of the other 4 Arrow cast members was the fact that C. Shimuka, who plays Amiko Queen, who has recently showed up in the present day storyline in Arrow, was hanging with 3 castmates that take part in the future storyline of Arrow. And she was also hanging with Catherine McNamara back when episode 8 aired on TV, who plays Maya in the future storyline as well. So she's hung out with 4 different cast members on Arrow who are all tied with the future storyline. So does this mean that Amiko is also going to appear in the future storyline as well? And, well, yeah, you would have to think so. It wouldn't surprise me if the show will go over, like, maybe Amiko's backstory in the present-day storyline, forge some relationships there between herself and characters such as Oliver mainly, but also some of the characters we see in the future. It will be interesting to see if Roy maybe shows up in present day. Hope that happens, but anyway. This could all lead to Amiko possibly being a major key in both storylines this season, in the present and in the future. But I guess the question is, like, in what way? And the answer to that is, like, who knows? But her connection to the royalty of Star City, essentially, that being the Queen family, might be important for both storylines. Maybe not directly, but just in some way, shape, or form. Now, to end off the video, I am going to answer some questions that people left in the community tab in regards to Arrow. A lot of them were Flash questions, but there were some Arrow ones. If you do have any questions about what we've seen, happen this season of Arrow so far, that I can answer at the end of some videos in this mid-season break, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And these are 3 questions from 3 different people. The first one comes from Cameron Dean, might I say, who asked, do you think Stanley is the big bad for Arrow? And personally, I've seen a lot of people say that they think he's the big bad. He just doesn't feel like a big bad to me. However, he does feel like he is going to be very relevant to whatever happens at the end of the season, whether he's connected to the big bad or he's just going to play a role in what's going on, maybe even in the future storyline. That could be something. Maybe Stanley's really heavily involved in the future storyline. Who knows? But obviously, the last time we saw Stanley, he killed Brick and got away. So he left on a pretty epic moment, and we know he's out there in, maybe not Star City, but he's out there in the open world. He's out there in the DC universe somewhere, and who knows what he's doing. Now, in the comics, he's Stanley Dover, who is basically a guy that sacrificed kids, basically like almost like a child, like a serial killer of children. I wonder if that would get me demonetized. Anyway, so he's a bit of a weird character in the comics, borderline creepy, borderline just a terrible character in the sense of like he's really evil and just sick. So I don't think the show will go down that route with him. I think they're just using a comic book character and they're going to put a twist on him, like we see all the time with movies and TVs that just take comic book characters and change them up a bit. I can't see him being the big bad, but I can just see him being like relevant to whatever's going on later in the season, whether it be in the present day storyline or the future stuff as well. Bob Stone asked, has Amiko Queen been on the show before or mentioned? And the answer to that is no. The only thing in the history of the Arrowverse and the history of Arrow in general that could be linked to Amiko Queen currently on the show is Robert Queen's relationship with Isabel Rochev. A lot of people think that Isabel Rochev is going to be the mother of Amiko Queen. Obviously, we know that Isabel Rochev died in season 2. I don't know. Isabel Rochev was like Russian or something like that. She wasn't part Japanese, so I don't know if that makes sense in regards to a lineage sort of thing. So that's the only thing that a lot of people I'm only saying that because a lot of people think that Isabel Rochev is actually Amiko's mother. I don't think that's the case. I think she might just have some random Japanese mother that Robert got with. But if that's the case, that'd be the only connection to Amiko in the past, is Robert Queen's relationship with Isabel Rochev and just the fact that we know that Robert Queen got with other women in his past other than Moira. And the last question comes from Eric Potter, who wrote, will we see Felicity go full on evil this season? And I don't think Felicity is going to go full on evil. I think it's just not even just evil. I think maybe what's going to happen is like she sees it as her like her only option as to what, you know, to what to do going forward. I just can't see her going full on evil. I know a lot of people don't like Felicity. I think she's really come around. Like season 3 and 4, yeah, Felicity was bad. But I think season 5 onwards, Felicity has really built herself as like a pretty decent character on the show. And it just shows that you can turn a bad character around. I'm not going to mention what other shows you try and do that. But I think making Felicity go full on evil is just sort of disrespecting just any form of writing that the character had, whether it be good or bad. So I think they should just make it that she felt it was her only option. And they sort of have hinted that maybe what Felicity did in the future she regretted, but at the time maybe she thought it was the right option, or maybe she saw it as her only option. But they basically said that towards the end, Felicity wasn't evil. In the future, she realized what she was doing was wrong, and it basically led to her possibly being killed. Whether her being, you know, dead is a fake out or not, we'll have to wait and see. But if she is dead, then the last thing she did was a heroic thing by stopping whatever was going on. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like in the video to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over. Leave any other questions you might have for any future Arrow videos. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.